Plaintiff Ingrid Bloom says when she first met the defendant, it was love at first sight. But after they moved in together, everything went downhill, including their sex life. Ingrid's suing her ex-boyfriend for the cost of a vacation, furniture, and rent. Defendant Mika Walder says Ingrid was extremely sexually active during their relationship because her biological clock was ticking. So he was forced to cut her off because he didn't want her to get pregnant. Mika insists the trip was a gift.
Tell me what happened here.
I moved here 3 years ago from Australia, and we pretty much met straight away. I have to admit it was love at first sight. I thought he was the entire package, looks, and he also seemed to have a great personality at the time. Everything was going well. We were really built a strong relationship. After 2 years, I moved into his apartment in February 2010. So I sold all my furniture, everything I had, because it was just a one-bedroom apartment. And after I moved in, things were just not as good as they used to be. Everything just started to fizzle out.
Like what?
The communication was just starting to break down. It was almost like he was speaking one language, I was speaking another language. The sex life also just seemed to fizzle. It was almost like it became a forced thing. By him. I was definitely still attracted to him, but I felt like it was just one way. And then, I don't know, I just sort of seemed to get a bit suspicious. I'm like, what was going on? Like, he works at a bar, and I know there's a lot of beautiful girls that come and go through the bar, and I must admit I probably got a little bit jealous and a bit untrusting because, you know, if we're not having any romance, he's a man, is he getting it from somewhere else? That was sort of what I was thinking. And I didn't want to be one of those types of girls, but I did go through his phone, and I noticed that there were messages from a girl that it was nothing incriminating, but the way they were talking, it was like, hi darling, hi honey. And I don't talk like that to guy friends, you know, it's just, I think that's...
When you ask him about it, what did he say?
I did confront him, and I was so embarrassed that I was that girl that snooped. He just said it was a friend, and, you know, he was just trying to be nice to, you know, nice and friendly to a girl, and I don't know.
Did you all break up anytime shortly thereafter or something?
No, we didn't break up then. After that argument, we tried to sort of rekindle what we had, and the idea was to go on a holiday. We were looking at cruises, and there was a cruise that left the day before my birthday.
And you're suing for a vacation, so I assume that's what you're about to get into. So let me allow him to give some background, then we'll get back to that, sir.
So basically, first of all, we met at the hostel. That was right, but and she went back to Australia for 5 weeks, and when she came back, well, then we started our relationship. The thing is, she wanted to move in right away to Mathis, and I said, no, that's not going to happen. And I told her from the start, I'm not going to get married. I want to be kids. So I made that clear, and I need my space. And she's a very needy and jealous person. And
you said typical guy. What is that? What is a typical guy?
Well, from what I've
from your
learned,
experiences, from
my experience, you know, typical guy that's afraid of commitment, and
a lot of guys just don't. They're not afraid. They just don't want to.
Well, that too. So.
And it can be for a variety of reasons. They're not ready yet. They don't want a commitment to one woman. They want to keep on sowing their wild oats. They just, for whatever reason, financially, they might not feel comfortable with taking on a commitment when they're not financially stable. They may want to achieve some other goals in life, and they might just don't like you in that way. So
I learned the hard way.
You know, there's more to it than just a man being afraid. He may be doing the right thing, because as you see, as you speculate, he cheated on you. And that may be because, as he says, he wasn't ready for a commitment. So, anyhow, go right ahead,
well,
typical guy.
That's why I told her I never want to get married. It's not about her, it's about me. I need my freedom, and I love my freedom. And for her, it was hard to actually deal with it. especially working in a bar. And yes, I have got girls coming in and trying to get me a phone number, which I never took. I never cheated on her because I loved her. So, well, she basically took my freedom and my space. And
how did that become problematic?
Well, I was just frustrated because she didn't listen to me.
Why'd you all break up? Was it over this?
That was, no.
Yes.
Why'd you all break up?
First of all, she's a very sexual active person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love to have sex too, don't get me wrong here, but she's in that age that her bio clock is ticking, and her sister has kept kids, and she wants to have babies. And I said, I don't want to have kids. So I got afraid that she might get pregnant by accident. So I just pretty much cut the sex, and which is not easy to do.
You didn't think about any protection, either you or she?
Protection, that was the thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
let's get to the vacation furniture you're suing him for.
Okay, so he was
And rent.
receiving an inheritance, so he told me to go ahead and put this cruise on my credit card, and he would pay me back for it.
Did he ever receive that inheritance?
Yeah,
ma'am?
he did.
Okay, go
and
ahead.
I have a breakdown of
Tell me about the money spent and the agreement to repay.
So yeah, I put the cruise on my credit card. We went on the cruise. It was for my birthday. He said, I'll pay you back because it's a gift. And his birthday was in December, a few months before mine. And I took him on a holiday. We went to Palm Springs and I paid for the lot. So I was convinced that this was my birthday gift. The total of the cruise was $1,663.
You have that? Did he tell you when he would? Did he say when he would repay you?
As soon as after the cruise, basically. So
Why couldn't he pay before then?
He was getting the inheritance almost at the same time. So
okay.
Like this all happened in March this year. So
all right.
And then he would settle it.
Okay. And what about the furniture and the rent?
Then also we purchased some furniture together. The agreement was we were going to go halves in it as we were living together. Once again, I put that on my credit card. This was very shortly after the cruise. He still has the furniture as I moved out of his apartment because we broke up.
What was the total price of the furniture?
It was $473.
That's the total price?
Yes.
So you want him to pay for all of it?
Yeah, because he still has all of the furniture. I have nothing.
What about rent?
And rent, I paid the whole rent.
For what month?
Every month we paid halves. So I paid the entire rent for April. It was $950 for the entire rent. And I was out 4 or 5 days later. So I paid the whole month's rent and I didn't even live there. And right now I have to pay for my own accommodation. I'm back at the hostel. I'm at friends' places.
All right, sir, what do you want to tell me about the monies that she is suing for?
The cruise was basically her mom's idea. She's like, let's go on a cruise. You know, I was like, and she said, Mika, let's go on a cruise. My mom said, it's great, she's done it before. And I said, we both never done a cruise. I said, well, you know, honey, I don't have the money to do it right now. So if you want to do it, well, you can buy it and take me on a cruise.
You never, quiet, ma'am. You never agreed to repay?
No.
All right, let's talk about the furniture.
The furniture, when she moved into my place, she sold all her old furniture. So she got money out of that. You know, I think the relationship was give and take. And she was basically living on my...
Was there an agreement on the furniture?
No.
There was never an agreement on ownership and how much money, who paid for it? Half and half, or she paid for all of it?
For the last purchase, yes, she did.
She paid for all of the furniture?
Yeah.
So what makes you think you can take it?
Because I already bought everything else.
All right. So
and I put it together.
You can take what else? What else do you think you should pay? You think you can take everything from her? What else? Rent.
Your Honor,
Rent. Mm-hmm. Okay, yes, she paid rent for April. That's true. Because I haven't, well, now I got the inheritance.
Okay, so you owe for that?
Well, I would actually wanted to pay for next month, but we broke up, so.
What did you want to say, man?
he actually sent me a text message a couple of nights ago.
Indicating
he was
what?
probably drunk. Basically that he admits that he owes me all the money. So.
Sir? You sent her a text admitting that you owe?
Don't think I admitted to anything.
Okay, I will pay you back.
Where does it say that?
And then you go on to say, let me read what you say. Even though I might have said that I will pay you back the money, doesn't mean you will get it.
I might have said it.
You don't have any evidence anyway. Oh, yes, she does. Judgment for the plaintiff. You brought your evidence.
Thank you.
$3,092 for the plaintiff.
I just have to say, like, it was pretty nasty of what you did to me after, like, I gave you 3 years of my life and I would never do something like this to you.
I mean, I feel sorry that I hurt your feelings.
I definitely have seen a different side to him now, so.